Hello again, welcome to the Scrum Master Guide to Agile. In previous videos, we've talked about what is Agile, Scrum, and what is the role of a Scrum Master. We've been talking about processes to create great products and how to provide a good environment to nurture a self-organized team. Today, we're going to focus in an important part of a sprint, the retrospective. Why is it important? Well, part of being agile is to be autocritic and to have a mindset in which we believe that everything can always be improved. A retrospective helps us reflect on whatever happened during the sprint, and through this reflection we find challenges and come up with ways of solving them. It is like looking at a painting. If you are too close, nothing makes sense. You just see traces and paint. But then, you step back and you literally can see the whole picture and make sense out of it. This is how a retrospective works, learning by analyzing the past. Whenever things are happening, we're just too focused in the actions and we cannot see the whole picture. It is when we recall the facts and reflect on them that we make sense out of what happened and find solutions. Okay, let's dive into the process. You will need a whiteboard or any kind of vertical surface that is big enough so that you can write on it. Paste the sticky notes and everyone can see them. Whiteboard markers, sticky notes, and 1 hour of everyone's time. There are 5 steps to follow in a retrospective session. 1. Set the stage. This is like an introduction. You will be setting the mood of the session. Here, you will thank the team for investing their time in this activity, and also you can remind them why this session is important. 2. Gather data. Now it's moment to gather all the data you have from the previous sprint. User testing results, the number of features finalized versus objectives set at the beginning of the sprint, you name it. The kind of data you will be gathering will depend on what kind of retrospective you're facilitating. If it's product, then gather data about the product. If it's process, gather data relevant for the team's performance. At this point, just gather the facts, not opinions, reasons, or solutions. Once the raw data has been reviewed, draw 2 columns on the whiteboard. One will represent what went well, the other what can be improved. I like to name them plus and delta, but you can represent them with anything you want as long as they mean what went well and what needs improvement. Then, ask the team to individually write on the sticky notes 1 or 2 things for each column. Remind them to reflect on the data you just reviewed and to write only 1 idea per sticky note. 3. Generate insight. Now it's time to analyze. Ask the team to paste their sticky notes on the corresponding column. Then, ask the team to read through all of them and cluster them into categories of their own creation. This step will help the team to process the information and prepare them for what follows. Now it's time to prioritize. Give each team member 3 votes. Then, ask them to vote for what they believe are the most important categories. 4. Decide what to do. Talk about what could be improved. Start with the most voted and focus on this one. It's important to note that there might not be enough time to address them all, but the ones with less or no votes at all will not be discarded. They can be discussed at the end of the session if there's still time, or you can bring them back on the next retrospective. Also focus the discussion towards what you're going to do as a team to improve the delta you've agreed to be important. Remember that the outcome must be an action plan. You must come out of the session with a clear idea of what you're going to do, when you are doing it, who is doing it, and how. Remember, your action plan has to be SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. 5. Close. Give the process some closure. Thank everyone for their time and ask for a quick assessment of your performance and the process itself. You can ask them to rate from 1 to 5 on how useful this session was, or from 1 to 5 how clear were the instructions or the tools provided. There are tons of tools online that you can use to facilitate these retrospectives. I will leave a couple of links here for you to consult and use what you need. Remember that being agile is all about adapting fast and reviewing your process and product constantly, but always follow these 5 steps to have a coherent retrospective session with a clear action plan as a result. Okay, I hope this information is useful for you, and I'll see you next time.